Okay, so I'm going to bring you another build order video. This one is by basically Root Minigun, a pro gamer. Uploaded this replay for people of him doing a 3-gate into expansion into 3 more gateways. So I thought I would just do that rather than doing it the other way I've been doing in the past with my little, whatever you want to call it, tool. The custom map. So as we can see, he's playing against Hydra. And this is his, I don't know if this is his main account or his other account, but this is Root Minigun, or Root Mini. So as you can see, going down at 9 the pylon, very standard, scouting with that first worker, still pretty standard. You know, it's pretty standard now for Protoss to scout with that first worker, just because if they're doing early aggression, you're probably going to have to do 2 gateways or a gateway and a forge instead of gateway cyber, so it's really good to know before you have to build that cyber what they're doing. Anyways, gateway went down 12-13. He didn't use his chrono boost right away after that pylon completed, so that's why you'd see his gateway go down at about 12, because he didn't use that chrono boost, so he didn't get them out quite as fast. Simulator going down at the end of 14, beginning of 15 as usual, 16 for your next pylon. So this is all pretty standard so far, transferring workers to gas, and cybernetics core comes down at 17 as soon as that gateway finishes. So all really standard so far. As you can see, constant pro production, getting out a zealot first, really good against Zerg to get a zealot, never gonna hurt. Pylon going down at 21, and now you can see, oh, constant pro production, he didn't stop it. Warp gate technology, and he's actually chrono boosting out his units instead of going for chrono boosting warp gates. That can be changed depending on, depending on what you're planning on doing your playstyle, but he plans to have some early aggression, we can tell, so that's why he's doing it that way. And both gateways going down at the same time at 28, 29 supply. Really not a big deal exactly when it goes down, but about 8 or 29 supply. And as you can see, the other assimilator then goes down. So there we go, that is our 3 gateways. And now he's going to expand right away and put down another pylon. Now the thing to note is he's expanding because he's being aggressive here. He's sort of keeping the Zerg player contained. He's been doing some very cute micro, doing some decent amount of damage if we look at the units lost tab here. So that's why he feels comfortable expanding so soon. So how soon you expand is really going to depend on how safe you feel that you'll be able to hold this off. So, if we look at the income tab, he's still been producing extra harvesters, especially when you're going to expand early. You definitely want to have those extras. Not a ton extra though, but he's definitely been producing extra. And one thing to really note here is when you do this expansion, it doesn't matter what map you're on, you're pretty much always going to see this type of thing happen, where you sort of build a partial wall to help defend that expansion really easily. And it's going to be, can be very useful to either have sentries or to have other units, but most people don't choose. This is not a forge fast expand, but we're going to be putting down, you're going to see 3 more gateways end up coming out. Of course, warping in some units. Now he didn't warp in that many units, that's why he can afford to expand so early as well. Some players will warp in more units and delay their expansion. As you can see, he's got this little wall now, and now he's just putting his units there so nothing can get by. And of course building an extra pylon because you do need to do that. So, that's pretty much it. It's really standard. Everything's really standard except for once you get your cybernetics core. These 2 gateways will go down a little bit later. You'll get out a few units if you're going to play like him to be aggressive and keep your opponent, so you can expand really early. Of course, worker transfer just before it completes. Pretty decent timing there. So there you go. And usually you'll build 1 more gateway, which isn't quite done yet, but and oh, killing that overlord came in a little too close. No, pylon going down. Okay, well, really though, your next 3 gateways, it's really up to you when you want to build them. But as soon as I don't know, probably pretty close to the time that you put this down is when you want to be putting out those other 2 gateways. You really want to put those gateways almost immediately after you start the Nexus, very soon. You want to be putting out a couple more gateways, and then I guess that 6th gateway can wait for a while. He's choosing to wait for a while because he wants to really produce the army. As we can see, he's actually not even producing many units from here. He just wants to see if he can get a win right now with this army. And of course, proxy pylon, always, always, always very, very important. And I think the other thing is because he's playing against Hydra, he pretty much knows that Hydra's going to go super macro heavy. And probably won't have an army to defend. So there we go, that is it. He didn't actually get the 6 gateways as is common with the build. When I've seen other people do the build, they go into 6 gates, is usually what they do. And then of course you could start getting some tech as well once you get later, you know, around this 9-minute mark or whatever. So hopefully you guys can use that build order successfully. One thing you really got to scout though, because you can't just fast expand. You really got to make sure that you can expand when you're feeling safe. This has a pretty narrow choke, so and bases are really close together, so it makes it easier because you've just got to defend this little bit from Zerg attacking. Of course, they could kill a pylon run through here. But really, at the end of the day, you know, this map makes it a lot easier to fast expand than some. So really, it's about getting that scout off, making sure you have the units you feel comfortable with, that they won't be attacking you soon. Because if you try and... I tried doing this build, but I didn't scout my opponent, and he came at me with an army, and I died because I didn't have enough units. And also got EMP'd, and all my units lost half their health instantly. But enough about my bitter rants about EMP. So there we go, there we have it. You saw how the build works, and just remember that with almost any, well, not with almost any, but with this build order, and with quite a few of the build orders, it's not something that you can just do blindly. You really have to scout, you really have to pay attention to what your opponent's doing, if he's going to be aggressive, if he's not, if you've got to contain, it's usually safe to expand, you know, stuff like that. So you're always thinking about, you always have to think, if I take this expansion now, will I be behind in army count, or will my opponent, when my opponent pushes out, or will my opponent not push out? You really got to think about, you know, you put down this, and for in the long term, it's going to help you if you can hold on to it. So you got to make sure, if I put down an expansion right now, am I going to be safe in the short term or not? So there you have it.